Let me be real with you. You already have everything that you need in order for you to make money off of your skills. You don't need a large following. You don't need a fancy website, a logo, the branding, the colors. You don't need any of that yet. You don't even need to quit your job. Unless if you want to, of course. What you do need is to package your skills into an offer that people will be paying you for. In this video, I am walking you through the exact steps I use to turn my skills into a digital product that I made my first sell in years ago, and here's how you can do it. Most people underestimate themselves. You think you don't have anything to offer, but you do. You're sleeping on your skills, your experience, the knowledge that you've acquired along the years because it's so easy to you. It comes natural to you. But that same thing that comes easy to you, someone out there is struggling with it. Someone out there needs your story, your experience, how you've endured the outcome, the transformation. Somebody out there needs to hear your story. They need your outcome. They are praying for you. They're praying for a solution, and you have it within your grasp. And you're sleeping on yourself. Since it's easy for you, imagine what they're willing to do in order for them to have that as a solution, in order to solve that. You have what someone is willing to pay for right under your nose. For me, my first digital product came to me naturally. It's something I've been doing for a long time, but I underestimated it because it came so easy. I said, there is no way someone is going to pay how much did I think it's $37 for this ebook. My first ebook was teaching people. My first ebook was, I think, the Daniel fast, or it was teaching people how to create an ebook. Because I'm like, wait a minute, because I started on Etsy. I said, oh, I made a sale, so I'm trying to teach people how to make sales on Etsy or make sales online. I started with Etsy, and then I went to Shopify, made sales on Shopify. Then I got into email marketing. I'm like, people need to know about this. So I started just creating products about what I'm learning. And I said, here, $17, $27. I'm like, and I made sales with those digital products. I didn't realize people would pay for it until I packaged it. People won't know what you're good at, what comes naturally to you, what you can solve if you don't package it. So I'm asking you, what do people come to you for? What are you good at? What can you talk about for hours without getting tired? What have you overcome? You have them within you. Write them down. Once you have your skills and your knowledge, because you're going to pick one. You can't throw everything into an ebook. You're going to confuse them. So pick that one that you want to focus on, that you want to talk about, and then you're going to package it. You are going to package it into an offer. That's the offer. This is where most people get stuck. They think, I need a course. I need the fancy tech. I need the lighting here, 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 and here. As long as you have the transformation within and you're able to express that to where they can understand, you're good. You don't need all of that. All you need is the right format. So the formats come in all shapes and sizes. Digital products are from ebooks, templates, guides, checklists, a mini course, workshop. Those are your list of ebooks. I wrote them down. That's why I'm looking down. So my first product was a simple guide, as I mentioned earlier. That guide turned into sales because it solved a problem for people. I was helping people. Let's use a Daniel fast guide that I created. How many pages? I think it was like 100 some pages, but it included a workbook. That's why it was so many, because I had workbook sections for 21 days. Oh, it was years ago. 21 days. Yeah, 21 days. And it solved the problem. People wanted to know. I was creating content on like fasting, on being spiritually aligned, on, your lifestyle, self-care, stuff like that. And one of my videos went viral. And I'm like, well, let me create something to help people. $37, 100 and something pages. It had a workbook, prompts, journal prompts. It solved how to fast. I went into detail because I told them that I heard God better by fasting, by removing my flesh, by being aligned and, this, that, and the third. And that ebook was it. And I sold copies and I was shocked. I said, oh, okay. So I say this to say, don't overcomplicate it. You have everything within you. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just focus on solving that one specific problem. It just has to be specific in the simplest way. How to this, that, and the third. My guide was called how to fast, or how to use the Daniel fast, something like that. Very simple, straight to the point. So now that you have your product, now you're thinking, how am I going to sell it without a huge following? I need a big following, right? Nope, you do not. Don't even get stuck there. I was stuck there for a long time. And I'm here to tell you, you do not need a large following. You just need to speak to the following that you already have. I had on that specific page, I had about 2,000 or so followers, and I was making sales. Mind you, that one ebook took off unexpectedly, and I'm so happy about that. But I'm here to say that you do not need a large following. It's the time to speak to your audience, to sell to the people that's already within your following, that's already in your world. Here's how I did it. I started sharing tips on my specific topic, tips and signs that this and that and a third, or here's how to 3 ways to. I started speaking in that language. I started giving them educational value. Not forever, not all the time, but I wanted to establish credibility. Another tip is to start talking about the problem that it solves. So for me, for example, we're going to stick to the same ebook guide that I created. Daniel fast, how to pray and fast, to hear God better, to hear God clearly. I had and created videos, signs that you're spiritually attacked, or how to develop a relationship with God. I tied those videos into the product. So they're like, oh yeah, I need this product, because if she has overcome this, spiritual attack, or if she developed a relationship with God through fasting and prayer, then I definitely need this ebook on fasting and prayer. Then create a simple link. Of course, you need to get paid. So you can create the link through PayPal, Stripe, what else? PayHip? I didn't use PayHip. I used Stripe. At the time, I used StanStore. So you can use StanStore. You can use Beacons. Strategy is to be clear, be consistent. I showed up and I talked about the product. I talked about why they need this product. And that gave people a reason to buy my product without me even saying, hey, buy here. I gave a reason through my content. Okay, so let's talk mindset, because this is where a lot of people get stuck. I spent months thinking I wasn't ready. I held the belief of everything has to be perfect or it won't sell. I needed more time, and I was coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse, and guess what? I was delaying myself. Time was passing by. I wasn't making any money. Okay. So, but once I started, that's when everything changed. I realized that belief comes after the action and not before. You don't need validation before you start. Creating and selling is your validation. That's where okay, I got this in the bag. Even if it's just 2 sales, you build momentum with those 2 sales. That's what I want you to do today. No excuses. Pick a skill. You're going to write down your skill. Pick a format. Remember the list of formats that I mentioned earlier? The ebook guide, templates, checklists, workshop, courses, etc. Pick one of those. And then you're going to have a rough draft. have an outline of what you're going to be explaining in detail in that product, in that digital product. Remember, it has to have a transformation, has to have an outcome. The transformation is the outcome. Whatever the outcome is, talk about it. What will they get from the digital product? Don't talk about how many pages it has, the color of the ebook. Nobody cares. They care about what you can do for them, what it can do for them, how it will make them feel. This is why it's important to talk about the struggles of the outcome that you're trying to solve. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate it. You have a digital product already within you, ready to sell. People are waiting on you to show up online, show up consistently. And if you want help packaging your skills and turning them into profit, check out my guide, Turning Your Skills into Income. This guide is perfect if you need help assessing your skills, if you need help turning your skills into profit without the burnout. This guide is for you. Don't sleep on your skills. Don't downplay your skills. I know it's easy for you, but someone out there is struggling with what comes easy for you. Perfect time to start monetizing your skills. Somebody out there is praying for you. So let's get to work.